answer it.
No problem with that.
Okay. All right, let me get my answer and then I'll leave.
You know what, this was actually asked to me by Andy Mahalchik today.
Is it true?
I had a partial independent paralegal business relations. You wanted an answer.
Well, no, I understand. It irks me. That's okay.
Right? You
Okay,
wanted
go ahead,
an
answer. I'm sorry.
Mr. Lupus came to me back in 2010, knew of my strength in research. He had a client, who Mr. Wendelowski also represents now, had a client who needed some research done with an LLC. He was taken for multi-million dollars from Easton Hospital. Multi-million dollars. He asked me to do research. That completed, he owns his own corporation. I have a 1099 from him for the work that I did, which I claimed on my income taxes.
So you did have a relationship, business relationship with Mr. Lupus?
An independent
Well,
paralegal.
as far as I'm concerned, quit.
Thank
You're
you.
supposed to be the, you're
Thank
supposed
you
to
for
be the,
your
oh, hold on, I got my radio. As far as I'm concerned, you were supposed to, you came down here, you were gonna be the bulldog for the taxpayers, and here you are eating the dog food. You should be ashamed of yourself. Moving the freaking back.
Take care, Bob.
Mr. Kishwaran.
Mr. Cornish?
Oh, good evening. First, I'd like to apologize for losing my temper. I don't usually do that, but everyone gets pissed off, gets angry once in a while. You didn't read my question, but my question was, or my questions are concerning the incidences and things that are going on at GIR High School. And I know that the police are definitely involved in their investigation, but we've had at least 2 children attacked with machetes that go to GIR High School. I'm very concerned about our children's safety, and there has been an ongoing racial tiff. I don't view this as more of a gang-related thing, but for the last few years there have definitely been racial issues, mainly between black and some Hispanic children. I'd just like to know what initiatives is the school district attempting to take. I did attend a gang session, which I know I saw a lot of school administrators at that session, and one thing I noticed the gentleman from the FBI constantly hammered home is something that we have been talking about for years here in this district, is cultural awareness and diversity. And the gentleman from the FBI, the FBI expert, that was one of his main topics. You know, everyone, or most people can somewhat pick out gang activity, or you have an idea of what a gang member may be. But cultural diversity and cultural awareness and diversity was hammered home, and every time I've seen this gentleman speak, something we've been talking about for this district. What is the school district doing to address this racial divide that seems to be going on in our high school, and how is the school district approaching to ensure that our children not only have safety in the school, but safety to and from? How can we make sure that these children have safe passage to and from school?
You also had, I'm not putting words in your mouth, Mr. Cornish, but you also had on here about the PTO.
Oh,
Do you want to say anything about that?
Okay, if I could keep going on it. There was an article in the paper, and I did have some questions. They made reference to a survey, and there was some statistical thing. I'm a little bit confused about the survey. Was this a survey done in the entire school, a select group of kids? How many people participated? I was a little disturbed, and that was one issue. When I saw that minority children felt that they were disrespected, I guess. And I know that some of the older board members definitely remember that we've had several incidences, I know at GAR, with the SRO officers. I think we've had 2 that have been removed. I know there's been incidences between children. I know of alleged incidents that have been reported to people in the community that they don't feel that they are being respected by these officers in the school. They bring their own personal biases and have also made racial comments to these children. How can our children feel safe or appreciate or respect these people when they're coming and bringing their own biases and saying derogatory things to the kids? Maybe it should be more of a community effort. I don't see this SRO officer necessarily working there. Okay.
Mr. Cornish, as you were talking, I asked Dr. Namey to
Oh, the
address
PTO,
both.
yeah, what they said they're starting a PTO up there.
Well, he will address both issues because they were here on Monday night and that's what came out of that meeting. So if you can just listen to him, he'll address both.
They gave them, and Len, we've known each other a long time, and we argue a lot, we get loud, and that's not a personal thing. So I too apologize for getting loud. Regarding your questions, we have we have 3 psychologists working very, very hard on the stasis program up at GAR. We are extremely concerned with what happened. As you know, we run our dogs, we own 3 dogs, we run our dogs and metal detectors through there on a regular basis. We have police up there. I need to tell you that the SRO program throughout the district has been very successful, and I need to speak to you about some of the issues that you mentioned regarding the relationship between the SRO officer and the students at GAR. I have never ever been informed that there was an issue, and I need to speak to you in greater detail on that. The 3 young women who are heading our BASIS program have obviously concentrated on GAR for exactly the reason you discussed. Okay, there are issues, I do agree with you, and even the victim himself said it was not a gang issue, but more of a racial relations between the black community and Dominicans, and there's an issue going on up there now. We have had the district attorney in, the assistant district attorney in, to talk to our young people, but that's simply not enough. For someone to come in, spend an hour with them and then they leave, nice, we could say, boy, we had a nice little program, but the effect on changing attitudes and behaviors, really, that's not how you do it. They have an extremely comprehensive program, I think a 4-pronged approach that's going to deal with cultural issues. And one of the reasons, believe it or not, in spite of the fact that sometimes we don't see eye to eye, and I'm not blowing smoke here, you know me well enough. I said to you and I said to them, we need you on this committee because you have been through it. You know the community, you know what the problems are in the community. I am really upset and disturbed that you have not been called, okay? And there will be a consequence for that, I assure you. So we are putting forth a major effort up there. One of the things I've said to them time and time again is we cannot sit back and determine what is needed up there. You need to go to the community and find out what the community is thinking and what they think is the best way to resolve those issues, okay? So that's why I'm really annoyed that you're having that call. So I will be meeting with them tomorrow morning, okay? I will tell you, you will get a call this week. And what I really would like you to do is to take a look at what they're planning to do. It made a lot of sense to everyone who heard them. And get back to me on what else needs to be done.
If I may interject, and I appreciate what you said, but this was a point I think that we tried to make in the beginning, and I understand it. I don't even know the young ladies. I have spoken to them several times on the phone. They seem to be very energetic, as most young people are, and they have a lot of good ideas. But